Hey, we are here with Red in Tooth and Claw, our Star Wars Burning Wheel campaign, which I'm excited to return to. Our Jedi friends here have finally made their way off of Terrace and are on their way to Coruscant. But in the meantime, they need to get their ship repaired. It wouldn't be a Star Wars game if you didn't have ship problems. So we'll definitely have to deal with that. Alyssa's character Elwyn has navigated everyone to whatever the nearest outpost is, and I looked that up, and that is the ice planet of Jebel, which is a real planet in the Star Wars mythos. The fun thing about doing a Star Wars game is you never have to make up anything; it's all already there for you. At least like planets and stuff. So we're gonna have a session on that planet and figure out what's going on there. But let's go ahead and jump into beliefs, instincts, and traits as we usually do to start off our game. And then I would like to do a quick series of flashbacks to just kind of get a little context for what our characters were doing on Terrace in the first place, since we kind of started like in media res the first session. I think it'd be fun to kind of get a little bit of flashback to start us off here. But before we do that, let's figure out beliefs and instincts. Chad, what are your beliefs and stuff for Ryu?
Sorry, I was looking at the map. I was trying to find Terrace. Sorry, I had my beliefs hiding. Ryu Kesha's beliefs. If this one needs a change, you can tell me. It's kind of long.
Yeah.
I think it's okay. I have reason to believe the Jedi I'm traveling with agree with me that the Jedi must combat the Mandalorians. I will discover which Jedi I am traveling with are trustworthy so I can share my true research with them. I think that's the end of it, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I worry about Fang's anger possibly leading him to the dark side. I intend to speak with him to hopefully dispel my concern. I will help him stay on the right path.
Real quick, I think that first part actually should remain the last part that you just deleted. I think that should remain the first part, because it's good to have beliefs that have like an overarching thing that doesn't change. I feel like so learning the secret, like that should be the first thing, I think, right? So then
that's how I had it originally.
Yeah. Learning the secret to defeating Mandalorian armor is the key to winning this war, right? That's the thing that will like not change for a while about your belief. And then I think we do. Let's see. I have reason to believe the Jedi.
No?
I'm looking at it. I have reason to believe the Jedi I'm traveling with. Discover which Jedi I'm traveling with and trustworthy. Yeah, I would say just delete that second sentence.
Okay.
So like that. I'll discover which Jedi I'm traveling with are trustworthy, so I can share my true research with them.
Oh, whoops! I didn't delete the end.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's easy enough.
Okay.
Cool. And then, sorry, what was your second one? I was still looking at that first one when you read it off.
I worry about Fang's anger possibly leading him to the dark side. Period.
Mm-hmm.
I intend to speak with him to hopefully. I'm going to just remove hopefully to dispel my concern. I will help him stay on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
I need some of Garm's best car for my research. I will find a way to get him to give me some.
Cool. I feel like that one needs a bigger. Like a larger umbrella belief. So like let's workshop these slightly. I think belief 2 needs this too. So I worry about Fang's anger possibly leading him to the dark side is still part of that, like more what's the fundamental thing that you believe about the Force, the dark side, the Jedi that's leading you to act like this? Why are you concerned about
I trust the Jedi. I believe in. I don't know if not Fang. Ryu Kesh believes that, like he believes in the order and the code.
Yeah,
and he hopes that the Jedi will fight against the Mandalorians. Like his interpretation of the Jedi code is that, like, in order to maintain peace in the galaxy, we need to fight the Mandalorians.
Yeah, so maybe like this then. Maybe your overarching belief is something like, we will need. Or it's something along the lines of, like, we need the Jedi to be unified to win the war, like, and the Jedi should not follow the dark side, right? Like something along the lines of like the Jedi are needed to win the war against the Mandalorians. Jedi are needed, though we must always guard against the threat of the dark side. I think that's maybe a good first part of the belief there, because then the idea is that the thing that's important to you is that the Jedi do need to fight, but they obviously need to do so in a way that's not going to lead them to the dark side, right? And so this would be a reason why you would like reach out to Fang and be like, I'm concerned about Fang because of X, right? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I agree with that. And my character agrees with that.
Sure. So then let's do this. Let's say, so the Jedi are needed to win the war against Mandalorians, though we must always guard against the threat of the dark side. Fang's recent outburst.
Yeah, that's why he's...
Right, is a sign that he may be strained to the dark side.
Yeah.
So I will speak with him to dispel my concerns. Or I guess so I will
well, I want to help him.
Just dispel my concerns and help him stay on the right path. A little long, but I think it
is long.
That works. That work for you?
Yeah.
Cool. I think that consolidates everything.
Yeah, and that's the point. Yeah.
Yep. So then this third one. So obviously you have like learning the secret to defeating the Mandalorian armor is the key to winning this war. Is I feel maybe the one for this belief 3. Maybe I don't know. Like you obviously care a lot about the Beskar and the Mandalorian stuff. Maybe belief 3 is about science in general. What do you believe about like your work as a Jedi scientist? Like why do you care so much about that? Is it just because you want to defeat the Mandalorians, or is there a deeper reason why you picked up that as like a pursuit in the first place?
I don't know. Honestly, I feel like he probably was just good at science, and the Jedi, like, I feel like the Jedi kind of sort people into wherever they're supposed to be.
Right.
And so that's where he ended up. And so because that's what he's good at and what he does, and he hates the Mandalorians and he loves the Jedi, that's why he's doing that research.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to figure out is like we have 2 short-term goals here. One is share my research with the Jedi, with some trustworthy Jedi.
So
and
I think for that one, the reason is like he wants to be able to. I don't think Ryu believes he can do his research with these people unless he trusts them. Otherwise, he's not going to do anything.
You're right. So maybe something about like, what do you believe about trust? Right? Like,
I think he's scared that the Jedi Order wouldn't want him doing that research.
Right. My research is everything to me, and I am afraid that the Jedi will
like if the
disapprove of my efforts. I will discover
if they disapprove, then they'll force me to quit or something.
Right, of course. I will discover which Jedi I am traveling with are trustworthy, so I can share my true research with them. My research is everything to me, and I am afraid that Jedi will disapprove my efforts and thus take it away from me. I will discover which Jedi I am traveling with are trustworthy, so I can share my true research. Does that make sense to you? Like the reason is that you worry about what the Jedi think.
Yeah.
And then this last one is learning the secret to defeating Mandalorian armor is the key to winning this war. I need some of Garm's Beskar for my research, so I will find a way to get to convince him to give me some.
Well, I don't. Yeah, convince is fine, but I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. So that's why I
Right.
didn't want to say convince.
Convince doesn't have to be a persuasion test.
Okay.
Right. There's other ways you can get things done. Or I guess you could just have it be, I need some of Garm's best for resist, so I will find a way to acquire it, right? So you could just be stealing it, right? Yeah.
Like, so I can do it anyway, you know?
Yep, that makes sense. Yep. All right, cool. I think those are clearer for...
Are those good? Like,
no, I think so. Okay. Yeah. Because we'll definitely have a chance to, discover which Jedi you're traveling with or trust. You guys are going to have a lot of time to talk today.
Okay.
The second one, obviously, you wanted to reach out to Fang in the first place, and we already have a
I'll kill two birds with one stone.
And then Garm's best scar is definitely going to be a thing that will be discussed by the party today in one way or another.
Cool. Yeah, I was trying to make them like applicable to this session because the way they were wasn't really.
Yep, I agree. But yeah, it always helps to kind of drill down to the real reason why the character cares about those things too. So cool. What are your instincts then?
So Ryu's instincts: always defend the reputation of the Jedi Order despite our disagreements. But do they disagree with me? Like, do I know that yet?
It's a good question. I think I assumed that you had disagreements with them somewhere.
Like, I think like my belief that they'll disapprove has to be rooted in something. Like, right. So
it's probably just that, like, I mean, you probably just know that like a lot of Jedi don't like war, right? And you are not that way.
Yeah.
Okay. You feel you're a little bit more aggressive of a Jedi.
Yeah.
You feel like a Jolie Bindo to me in a lot of ways from KOTOR.
Because kind of, yeah.
A little bit gruffer.
But like he's trying to do the right thing, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Always tend to the medical needs of those around me, even my enemies. And if I find myself in a bad situation, I will use science to find a solution. Traits are Cenobitic, bedside manner, blue skin, attuned, sworn to the order, knighthood, empathy, thick skin, Arctic endurance, and charismatic.
Cool stuff. Elowen Starwind. I know you were working on your beliefs and stuff too, so
I think I'm pretty much good. Yep. All right. A good pilot has connections on every planet. I will make a new ally.
Mm-hmm.
The Mandalorians are a threat to the peace of the Republic. We must escape terrorists and inform the Jedi Order of the attack. So
you're still working on that from last time.
Right, to inform the Jedi Order. Yep. So I'm hoping I can get a message out to them today.
Yep.
A ship is an important extension of a pilot. I'll ensure the repairs of my ship will be sustainable. Instincts, always tell the truth, always know where my ship is located. If I think someone is suspicious, I will trail them.
Cool.
And then traits are superstitious, empathy, sworn to the order, attuned, nimble, and familiar face.
Sweet. All right, Jenna Kinloft.
Oh. So mine is a wandering Jedi Knight. My beliefs are the Jedi Order is starting to lose its way. Once we are farther from the threat of war, I want to find a Padawan to correct this. And then the warlords of Mandalore are a threat to the Republic and will protect my party, make it to Coruscant, and appeal to the Jedi Order for action. Mm-hmm. And then I'm the better fighter with 2 lightsabers. I will try to acquire a second one.
Right, cool.
Instincts are if someone is in danger, I will protect them even at my own expense. Always question the Jedi Order, always keep others at a distance. And then traits are lonesome, prominent scar, empathy, attuned, sworn to the order, knighthood, fearless, call on traits of driven and dispute settler.
Nice. Very cool. And then Fang.
That's me. Let's see. I haven't changed them too much. I was debating changing an instinct, but I haven't decided what it could be. So let's just stay on as what it is.
Sure.
So my beliefs are that the Order must follow the will of the Force, not bend it to their own will. I will assist the other members of the Order and build a foundation of respect. That's unchanged. As is the second one, I must be able to control my natural gank aggression. I'll interrogate our prisoner to find a way to minimize further conflicts.
Right.
And belief 3 is my gut says to fight the Mandalorians, but it is forbidden. I will contact Flashbang and get her opinion on the events.
Your relationship, yeah.
Yeah. My instincts are if someone frustrates my focus or effort, then I respond with sharp words. I always ease the suffering or danger of innocence. I always question the motives of others, and I always get a twinge in the head from impending danger.
Nice.
Traits, there is a massive list, including child of a bloodthirsty culture, native of a foreign world, strong physique, furred, predator's vision, attuned, sworn to the order, diplomatic immunity, sixth sense, alien, cyborg, manhunter, eye of the hunter, booming voice, nimble, and drone.
And about half of those were given
Evolved.
in the game. Yeah. All right, cool. So I think we start with a flashback. I think we see Ryu at the terrace, the Jedi Tower. Chad, give us a little bit of a snippet from like a day in the life of Ryu. Like you lived there for most of your life. This would have been like before the maybe like during the scandal. So the scandal that happened that led to the Jedi leaving Terrace. And now I'm starting to second guess myself. I thought I had it figured out in my head, but now I'm trying to decide. I'll pose it to you guys too. So the original canon reason in Knights of the Old Republic era stuff that the Jedi left Terrace is that there was a massacre of some Padawans that happened, and the Terrace government was like, we cannot trust you. Like, what is happening? Like, Jedi killed a bunch of Padawans, and it became this whole big thing, and a bunch of politics. Josh and I were talking about. I was trying to get an idea of like what are some other ideas for like a scandal that could happen. If that one doesn't work, and Josh suggested that maybe there were some artifacts, either Force related or otherwise, that the Jedi would be interested in, that maybe got dug up or acquired in some way by the Teresian government, and the Jedi were trying to get it, and it turned into a big brouhaha. What does anyone have any particular ideas or thoughts on like what sort of that maybe connects to your characters and your characters have a vested interest in why the Jedi would have left Terrace, like why there would have been a rift there, between Jedi and the people of Terrace, and why the Jedi would have like pulled out. I'm fine with either of those ideas, like the massacre of Padawans, or some sort of like struggle with the Teresian government over like Force artifacts that the Jedi wanted. Anyone have anything else that like comes to their mind as like something that would be like important to their character, or just any thoughts, or like one of those two options that like they're pulled to? What do you think?
Well, in the canon version, what was the reason why the Jedi had massacred all those Padawans?
Basically, it was like a weird splinter group that like saw a prophecy in the Force and was like, one of these Padawans is gonna like destroy the galaxy, and we gotta kill them all. And then they got outed. Basically, they tried to pin it on a different Jedi Padawan, and it didn't work. So if that was the thing that happened, then it would have been like Fang's job to like come in and like try to smooth things over with the Terrace government, while maybe you, Elowen, were like tracking down the real, like technically you could have been involved, Elowen, in like the investigation if it was something like that. That could be kind of cool because you're a Jedi Sentinel.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because that's kind of what I want it to be, is like something that connects your guys' characters to that event and like gives like good reasons why you would have cared about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be cool.
How do you think that plays in with your belief, Olivia, of wanting a Padawan?
Oh, did you have you could have, this was another question we were going to have, is like, how long was Jyn actually on Terrace before this happened? And like what connection you had to the Jedi Tower? Because you're technically not even really like,
what if your original Padawan was one that got,
it could have been, right?
Died?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, like,
I think we had said originally that your Padawan died on the Outer Rim fighting Mandalorians with you. But maybe maybe you came here to find a new Padawan, and you were maybe in the process of like choosing one, and then they got killed. That could be a thing.
Potentially, yeah, because I'd rather think that the whole interaction with the Padawan was a little bit farther away in the past, which is why Jin's been kind of wondering for a while.
Right. Part of your disillusionment with the Jedi Order.
Part disillusionment and part just trying to.
Well, it kind of sounds like we're leaning towards the Padawan massacre. I personally think that would be pretty cool to have like Fang had to come in to like smooth things over with the terrorist government and be like, the Jedi are not involved in this. We're going to find who did this. Like, and then Elowen's trying to track down, like there was a whole adventure there that we didn't get to see, right? Up to you though.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
And then my character just came probably late, didn't know what happened.
Was it like unauthorized by the Jedi to do this, or it was authorized?
Totally unauthorized. Yeah. Which part of it? The massacre?
Like the massacre.
Yeah. The massacre was not authorized by the Jedi Council. It was a splinter group. And I think probably what it was, and I was going to do flashbacks for this, but we're just talking about it. So I don't think we need to like now then show. No, you're good. You're good. I just, one way or another, I wanted to know what happened. My plan was to do some flashbacks, but it's fine if we're talking about it. I think the idea would be, maybe it was, because I think it would be cool if all of you had a connection to it. So Chad, what thoughts do you have on this? Like, how are you?
Who was massacred?
So it would have been basically, a group of Padawans got murdered in the Jedi Tower, and at least in the original canon version of this, because this event actually happened in Star Wars canon, a different Jedi Padawan was blamed for it, but it was actually the masters of the tower who did it. Like they were secretly part of some like splinter force group that was like infiltrating the Jedi Order, and like was a whole big thing there. I think it might be interesting if Ryu maybe walked in on the massacre or something, or was involved in some way, finding out about how it happened, or like alerting people that it happened in the first place.
Oh man!
Any thoughts? Because it could be cool to like, if this was a show, we would get the flashback. Well,
I feel like they would have like injured Padawans. Like he would have been helping them with their wounds and stuff if they were not dead. Or,
Yeah. Because what I was going to say is it might be interesting if this was a show. We would have started this episode with like a shot of like Ryu doing his normal Jedi stuff in the tower, and then walking in on the dead Jedi Padawans and like rushing over and being like, oh, then you're trying to heal them and stuff like that. And maybe like one of them slips away in your arms. Right. That could be a whole thing there.
Yeah. And then like, and I think because of Ryu's, I don't know what word to use, like not affinity, but
affection.
Yeah, like his affection for the Order itself, and like obviously all the Jedi in it, he would want to find out like how this could happen. And maybe he thought it was fishy that some Padawan did this. Like, how could a Padawan kill all these Padawans? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. I kind of like that. So maybe what we see then is we see that, and then throughout this episode, maybe we would be, if this was a show, we would be getting snippets of how this all happened. And so like, Fang would be called in to deal with the publicity of the whole thing. Do you have any ideas, Josh, about how that went down? In just a general sense, we don't necessarily need to zoom in on it, but because basically it was like, I think Terrace was having his own problems with like riots and things and like civil unrest. And then this just like tipped things over the edge. It's like the Jedi are also bad. Like what's going on? Right. And then the Jedi were like, please go deal with this.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Because I think Elowen would have been called in to, or, she was already on planet, but she would have been called on to like investigate the whole thing. I think maybe Elwyn, what it was at first is like you were tasked by the Jedi Masters to go track down the Padawan that they claimed did it. And then when you tracked him down, he convinced you that like, no, I am innocent. It's actually the Masters. I saw them, like I walked in on them and doing it and I had to run away from them or whatever, right? Like he convinced you, and there's like a whole thing there where you had to like go confront the Masters too. Or like, like you did an investigation. However, Elwyn would have gone about doing that, right? But I'm also curious how Jin then fits into that too.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure if you were actually asking me or if you were just
No. If you had any other thoughts, then that's great. But if you didn't, that's also fine. Just kind of gauging like what you guys knew about each other and like how involved you were in that scandal before the Jedi.
I guess like how long ago was the scandal?
I would say measured in weeks, but not months. So maybe not quite 2 months.
Okay, so I was probably already there, right? Because we said I was there in Terrace.
You were there for 4 years. Yeah, exactly.
So like I was probably doing stuff like helping like the government with like the
criminals and
stuff before that, and then I was called on for that. I guess the other question I have, so like if I confronted the Padawan and then was convinced that it was, the Masters and whatnot, which is fine with me. Like I think, that flies with Elwyn's character. She is not strong enough to have actually confronted them.
Right. Well, one of the things I'm wondering, I think
I probably didn't confront them with lightsabers. I probably just overheard something, if anything.
I think what happens is you exposed them, right? And I think they ran. I think that's like the thing that happened is they ran, and you informed the Jedi Council, and they're like, okay, sounds good. Like they're officially banned from the Jedi Order. We'll track them down, sort of a thing. Because that could also be a fun thing we could pick up on again later, like another thread that your characters were involved in the past.
I think that makes sense because like she definitely wouldn't have confronted them herself. She would have just gathered information and then sent it off. So, but yeah, I think that makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm curious, did Jin just show up at the end of that, or was she involved somehow, and how that went down?
I would feel like Jin would be very late to the party.
Oh, here's an idea. What if Jin was the one, so it wasn't a Padawan what if Jin showed up and was like, I've been a wayfaring knight and whatnot. I'm kind of like sheepishly coming back to the Jedi Order, and you went to the Jedi Tower, and you got blamed for the murder of the Padawans. And
she had.
Right. That'd be kind of dramatic though, right? Like, cause then Elwyn has a connection to you, and like she tracked you down, but then you convinced her that you were innocent. And then the Jedi are like, you already had issues with the Jedi, so it's not like that would have made their opinion of you worse. And you were innocent, so.
But she's powerful enough to have killed them all.
Right, exactly. That's a more believable story too.
Right, that makes sense.
It is, but
that makes sense that she would have been my first lead, and then I go to a Padawan, and then I go to the real. Source.
There could have been other leads. Yeah,
it probably was. Especially if it was weeks of investigation, that makes sense. And then we'd have that connection. Yeah,
yes, that's true. But then would the Jedi even like, has my innocence been justified enough for me to be like, I feel like I could go to them to talk to them about the Mandalorian War, or would that just not even be on like? Depending on how it went, I'd be like, I'm done with you.
No. I think, I know. I think it should be kind of that middle ground of like, you were exonerated quickly enough that it wasn't like a thorn in your side. You're like, man, the Jedi are stupid. And it ended up being like a splinter group of literal evil Jedi or misguided Jedi or whatever.
Like, that the Jedi Council didn't even like necessarily suspect you, that it might have been even me that suspected you. Cause I was like, you're new here and you just showed up and this happened. You know what I mean? Like it might have been me, and then
I really like that. I really like this because it does give us like this whole other adventure that happened before the start of the game that just kind of fills in some of those cracks of context for the characters. I really like that.
I guess that would make sense because like, especially since my character is more of a distant person who likes to keep others a little farther away, that would justify our connection and that we at least trust each other because of what we went through.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because I think like all four of you are important enough characters in the larger scheme of the galaxy that like there would have been like I think it makes sense that like all of you had this connection about something in your past, and there would be a reason why you were like the last 4 Jedi to leave Terrace, right? And those are plausible reasons, given your connections to that scandal, that why you would have been the last people to leave.
Yeah, probably cleaning things up, tying up.
Right, exactly. Cleaning things up, tying up the loose ends. Fang was, doing diplomacy, and then it fell apart eventually. Do you have any other thoughts on that, Josh, about Fang's part in that? Because he could have been the one to actually expose do the diplomatic or the charismatic speech thing of these Jedi council members or these Jedi masters are bad and we must confront them. You could have been the person who took the lead on that.
Yeah, smoothing it over with the leadership of the city and stuff. Yeah,
exposing that information and being like, nope, we're innocent and here's what happened, and then they ran, right? Cool. So I think throughout this episode, if this was a show, we would be getting those flashback scenes, right? That whole story kind of.
So are we leaving because Paris maybe didn't care that we explained that they were bad?
Yes, exactly.
Don't trust the Jedi at all, anyways.
Basically, yeah, the relations with the Jedi Order broke down. There were other things going on in Terrace that were causing the government to be super stressed and whatnot, and they even Fang's best efforts were just not enough to smooth things over by the end. And so it wasn't like they were like the Jedi are evil and they are not to be trusted ever. It's just that we feel more comfortable if the Jedi Tower would leave, please. Right. So you guys packed up
after all the work I did for you for almost 4 years.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I like that a lot. I think that'll be some cool context to have in the background. Cool. So I think we start off with the actual kind of in present day scene of your ship arriving in the Jebel system, in orbit around Jebel, the planet. And I've gone through the liberty of, or I've taken the liberty of finding an actual starship map and type that would be popular in this era of Star Wars to just choose for what your ship is. I've also named it. If you're down with this name, you let me know, Alyssa. I named it the Dawn Chaser.
Ooh, I like it.
That sounds cool.
So here's the Dawn Chaser. It's mostly a transport ship, but it's got some guns on it, and it is it can transport lots of cargo and people. There's the Dawn Chaser, and then here is the map of the ship. So it's a 578R space transport. So most of you hang out in the bridge or the kind of cabins, right? I think your workshop, Chad, is down in the cargo hold, right? It's down here. You tell me, is it like a cordoned off section over here, with a sheet around it? Is it in one of these kind of crawl space rooms over here?
No, I think it'd be in the where
do you want it? I think it's probably in the lower deck.
I think, wouldn't it all still be packed up right now?
Well, I think I guess we had said that there was a room where you had your stuff.
Okay, I would like it because I would think you'd want it in a room that he could lock.
So, yeah, I'm thinking maybe one of these rooms.
Yeah, the one on the left.
Number 8 over here. The one on the left. Okay, sounds good. We'll say this one is your med bay. Sounds good. Yeah, so this is a slightly makeshift thing. It wasn't meant to be a med bay, but you managed to retrofit one. Any other thoughts on the layout of this ship? Anything you like to state now as your characters, where you guys hang out or where you have things? I know that right now the med bay is holding the Mandalorians as well. They have your hostages.
Sorry, which room is the where I would be controlling the ship?
So the bridge is right here.
Oh, right there.
Oh, in one. Okay, got it. That makes sense. Okay, yeah, I see it now.
Number 1, and then this stairway goes down to number 7 here.
Okay, got it.
And this stairway goes down to the crew lounge and the the cabins and stuff. So,
yeah.
So there they go. That's the Dawn Chaser, fast little ship, and you land. You get into the Jebel system, get into orbit, and start your descent. There's this is a giant. It's a whole planet, so there's places that you could go. But the one that you choose is a little outpost. And Elowin, about this planet, at least the following basic information. Jebel is a mining planet. It mostly mines ice. So there are some rare minerals and other things that they can find from the planet as well. But mostly, this ship is a resource world to Terrace. Mostly just their water supply comes from here. Like gallons upon millions of gallons of water are shipped to Terrace from this planet every year. This is like one of the closest like civilized planets to Terrace. And there, you should be able to, it's a mining outpost, but you should be able to get repairs here. There's Republic presence here. There's various mining outposts and lots of places that you could get repairs. You'll have to convince someone or pay them to do so, but I think we see you guys start to touch down. Here's a kind of like ambiance art for you here. Right, we have this kind of like arced outpost kind of over a big hole. And it's like this, this mining facility down there, right? They're slowly carving out the planet down there. But yeah, there's like a landing pad. There is nothing lives here. So it's not like they're like tearing up an ecosystem. It's just an ice planet.
No Arctic foxes or anything?
I don't think so. I should probably pull up the Wikipedia entry again. But I don't think there's anything particularly important. Yeah, I don't see that there's any. Yeah, I mean there's humans here, but that's about it. I don't think there's like habitable ecosystems really. It has enough. I mean, there's probably like bacteria and stuff, but I don't think there's like animal species really that live here. But yeah, so you guys we see the Dawn Chaser go down into the atmosphere and start to land. You probably Elowin are in the cockpit in the bridge, and Geralt leans over and says like, "This is the Dawn Chaser. We are requesting landing at Sector 3. We are coming from Republic space. Over." Right, and then transmissions officer at the outpost basically relays like, okay, you're cleared. Your ship ID clears and you're good to land here. Welcome, Dawn Chaser. Right, and then you guys touch down. So yeah, the outpost is made up of this kind of big arm kind of extending out over this mining pit. And it's it's pretty large, pretty extensive. There is a command tower that kind of pokes up out of the outpost, and there's various places for like living quarters, mining operations, storage areas. Mainly this is a mining outpost, but there people do come here for other reasons, there's probably like traffic from Terrace quite often, cargo ships and stuff like hauling things. So it's not unlikely for a ship like the Dawn Chaser to arrive here. But yeah, so what is your first step? You're welcomed, but like, you're gonna have to pay for things if you probably have to like pay a small docking fee, but like, we can hand wave that as part of your lifestyle cost. It's not enough to really warrant a roll. But that pretty much anything else that you're gonna have to buy here is either like goods that would go straight to Terrace and you'd have to like buy at some sort of extra price for taking it away from that, or it would be stuff that they use for the miners. So like it's not really a trading outpost, but it is a place to like seek repairs at the very least. So yeah, what do you do? Welcome to Jebel. I think Geralt says that, right? Welcome to Jebel, everyone.
Had to be ice, huh? Yeah, okay. All right.
No pod races we can bet on.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, go make some bets.
But yeah, there's a Republic presence here. So you could just like go to whoever's in charge and be like, hey, we're Jedi, we need repairs. Like, give it to the bill it to the Jedi, right? That could be a thing you try to do.
Well, I'm wondering if I can like work on my belief of make an ally, like just see if I even have somebody here.
Yeah, someone you already know. Yeah, for sure. Or someone you could, enough to reach out to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What kind of person would you like to circles up?
Probably somebody from the Republic, maybe not a mechanic themselves, right? But somebody who would be willing to help us out with the repairs.
Yeah, sure. You could do that, maybe like a chief engineer or something.
Maybe, but it could just be, like you said, somebody from the Republic who's got money and is willing to be like, or and you said that there's no Jedi presence here.
There's no official Jedi presence here. There could be a Jedi here for some other reason, but there's not like a Jedi outpost here or a Jedi stationed here. It's just a resource planet, right?
Okay.
But you can transmit information from here, in theory, to Coruscant at the Jedi Council. You could get in touch with Jedi from here.
Right. So that's why I'm saying, like, maybe because the Jedi Council, I'm sure, would send money over. Yeah.
They might, yeah.
So if maybe if I could just find somebody who is with the Republic and will let me and can contact the Jedi Council to get those repairs. Just somebody in general. I mean, because I could I not just transmit that from my ship, I guess?
I think in theory you could, yeah. There's probably a role there, because it is Star Wars is kind of picky or funny about it's the way communication works. It's always different, but I think it's reasonable enough for me as a GM to say, like, you might have to get the signal boosted or something like that, right, to make it all the way to Coruscant.
Right. Well, we also could say that part is also damaged if you just want to do that.
That's also true, right? I think you can make a roll to attempt it from your own ship, but it might be easier to, like circles up a person, like a communications officer or something. Right, but yeah, it just depends on like what you care most about. Is it to specifically someone who can get you in touch with the Jedi, or is it someone who can get you repairs on your ship, or what do you think?
Somebody who could get me in touch with the Jedi so we could pay somebody to fix the ship, I think would be the idea. Because I don't think circling up a mechanic and just being like, hey, do this as a favor would work. So
it's probably expensive.
But I think finding somebody who, finding a way to get in contact with the Jedi to be like, hey, we're here, we're stranded, we need money, send money.
Okay, so give me a criteria then. One step at a time here. We have what life path does this person need to be, if any?
I don't know. Just somebody who is able to get us in touch with the Jedi.
So just someone who has the transmission skill, or someone who, because it also is harder the higher up they are. So you could easily try to circles up. Like I know the op right now for circling up the Republic person in charge of the base, but that's harder to be I know and they like me with a circles roll than just some person who happens to have a good transmission skill or something, right? How much criteria do you need for this person to be?
I don't think I need much criteria, to be honest.
So just a person who can get you in touch with the Republic. That's literally it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I think that's probably I think we'll say OB 3 just because of, so it's OB 1 as a base, a +1 OB for the specific skills you need them to have, and then another OB for unlikely that this is a random mining outpost. Given what I know about the people stationed here, that particular type of person who's not the leader of the base is going to be slightly more difficult. But you have a call on for this, so.
Dang, what am I?
Yeah, you have a 1 in circles.
Right, that's what I mean. As I'm like, what? What is it going to take for me to be able to just roll an OB 1?
Yeah, so an OB 1 here would be a miner, a drill control technician, a member of the security force, a pilot, part of the maintenance crew, just anyone you know would be easily found here and have no other criteria past that, right? That's an OB 1 test. And you just know one of those people by name and would be able to talk to them, right?
Maybe I should just go find a mechanic then.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, buddy.
Hey, old buddy, old pal.
It was a favor. I thought that mechanic was going to be more obscure, so that's why I was going for like just somebody who could get us in touch.
Yeah, so typically circles are the base ob is like what their life path is, but it's also always an ob 1 test to find a person at their business where they should be, right? Like so so an ob 1 to find a maintenance worker on a mining outpost. Yeah, ob 1.
Okay, then let's go with that, I guess.
And it doesn't have to be like the person who you would pay for the repairs. It's just like a contact, right? Someone you can talk to start off the conversation of like, can you get our ship repaired? And he'd be like, okay, let me see who I can talk to. Like, we'll get your ship repaired.
And honestly, maybe one of the other Jedi would be better at talking to the Republic anyway, because I don't have a very good.
Yeah,
I'd basically be like, we're stranded here, and unless you don't want us to be stranded here, send us money.
Yeah,
that's how that conversation would go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ob 1 test if you want to just find a maintenance worker.
That's fine. Okay. Base ob 1.
So the way that ob 1s work when you have a 1 in skill, this can count as a difficult test or a routine test. You need a routine test, so mark that as a routine test instead of
I'm going to do that
and you'll upgrade to 2.
Look at me moving up.
Would you like to use your call on?
I guess so, right? Like, when else am I going to use this session?
You might. Up to you.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I might. I'll just use a fate. I've got like 8 of them, so
yeah, you can do that too.
I'll do that.
And you could still use a call on if you really wanted to after you.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
There you go.
Here we go.
Hey, you even got a 6. Nice job. Yeah. So, again, meeting the obstacle on a circles test means that they're not like your best friend or anything. But it's like a person right? A person you can contact, and it's not like a big deal. There's no complications getting in touch with this person. So we just see like Elowen, right, like, walk off the ship, and the ship is getting. Honestly, it could be like the ship is getting hooked up to like all the landing gear and whatnot. Someone's like refueling it, as they would typically do, like as part of like the standard docking fee or whatever it is, right? And you saunter down the ship and. You call out a name, right, to one of the maintenance workers who's like scurrying over to like work on your ship, or to talk to you about your ship, maybe. Let's give a name to this person. Okay, so this person's name is Kara. Kara Vanar. Yeah, so a wiry, tough as Durasteel woman. She's pretty quick-witted. You always appreciated how like she was always has like a quip or a joke that she offers. She's also has like an unshakable work ethic. There is like she's very particular about how she like repairs and maintains things. So she's the sort of person who's like, someone's like, why would you fix that part? No one's gonna ever see that part. Like she's like, I know it's there, and I know that it's broken. Like I could like seal this up, but no, I'm gonna fix every piece. So her nickname is Sparks. So that's probably what you would call her. But you tell me, how do you know this person?
Is it
you obviously got around?
Is it possible? I mean, yeah, obviously, like I got around. I mean, maybe during my time as a Jedi Sentinel, maybe I came back and forth between this planet and Terrace, like to do some transportation stuff. Maybe there were some other things getting transported. And I was doing some reconnaissance with that, and so made some relationships over here while I was doing that mission.
That makes total sense. Yep. You've been here before, right? And so you know this woman is like a very like reliable mechanic. And you see her. She looks at you and she says, "Goodness, Elowen, You look like you've seen better days.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, she kind of waddles over and not waddles, but like trots over. And I think she has like dark hair. She's kind of short, maybe 30s or 40s, somewhere around there. And she kind of folds her arms, has like a mechanic's vest on. She says, looks like your ship has seen better days too. Who did the repair job on that? I wouldn't let them near a hyperspanner if my life depended on it.
I don't know if she knows Garm or not. They probably don't know each other, but
probably not, yeah.
Be like, just this lousy mechanic we picked up on a terrace, to get us out of there.
I wouldn't let him near a hyperspanner if my life depended on it.
Well, in his defense, he had a total of maybe 5 hours to repair it, so we could escape off terrace. It's under attack currently.
She frowns. What do you mean under attack?
The Mandalorians are coming. Sparks.
No. The Republic, they said they'd hold the line. All of our livelihoods depended on that. You're saying they folded?
They folded.
Oh, this is bad news. I gotta hollow my sister. Nice speaking with Yellowin. Good luck with your ship.
Well, thank you, but I actually do need your help to get it repaired so we can go tell the Jedi Council to do something about this to get to Coruscant.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I can help you with that. Gee, Yellowin, we're on tough times here as it is. We were relying on that shipment. She says,
would any of you be with me while I'm talking to her? Just
yeah. What are you guys doing as Elwyn walk down the ramp?
Because you all have better persuasion than I do, so I'm just curious if anybody came with, or else I'm just gonna have to ugly truth her and be like, yeah, you think it's bad now? Well, if you want any hope, you better do this repair and we'll pay you later.
Well, I mean, if we go off our background, I would feel like Jin would probably feel like she owes you something if you helped clear her name. And since we're not somewhere where the ship could be attacked, I think I might go with you.
Sure. Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
It sounded like Fang and Ryu had like things that you wanted to do on the ship, so it makes sense if like Elwyn and Jin are the ones who walk off. For now, at least. Unless Fang or Ryu had any other things you wanted to do at the outpost.
Yeah. I don't mind ugly truthing her because that's just something my character would do, but she seems pretty distressed, so I want to be maybe a little bit more
a little sensitive.
Yeah,
I think she says we were relying on a shipment from Terrace to repair our to do repairs here. I don't want to have to make up what specifically needs to be repaired. She says, we're going to need every scrap of metal. That's not something we can do easily here, Elwyn. I'm sorry.
I understand that, but if you can get us to Coruscant, then I can send you what you need. But if we don't get there, then there's going to be then who knows? The Mandalorians may just show up here next.
They're gonna show up here next. I don't think there's any hope for the outpost. That means we need every scrap of metal to repair our own ship so we can get off planet. And she's being practical and pragmatic with you. She's just like, I'm sorry, like this is just the way. So you'd have to like make a roll at this point to like, show her the truth.
You want to help me here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Does Jin pipe in?
6 in persuasions.
Well, I mean, I think it's probably going to have to be me making the roll with some kind of ugly truth, but you can help me with something though.
Unless Jin stepped in and just
unless you just
set her own thing, right?
Yeah, which you could.
You said it what I was going to say though. It's just get off like this planet because it's like the sooner we can get help, the sooner we can get help for you guys to prevent this war from spreading.
Yeah, I mean, you could just say that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say, but I mean, yeah, are you just...
No, what I'm saying is like that sounds like a slightly different way to say it from Jen's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So who's making the roll? Is it me or Jen?
If Jen wants to make the roll, she can do it.
I have said my piece. So yeah, I have a 6, so I might...
Yeah, you're good at it.
So I'll try.
Yeah, but she may have a really stubborn personality, though.
That's true.
She might have a high will.
Oh.
Because what would this be, an ob 3 for friends?
For ugly truth, it would be ob 3 for friends.
Or would
I think for
worst case scenario.
Yeah, I don't think it's well.
Because worst case scenario.
Yeah, I think it's op 3 for friends because she's already explained to you, like, if it is worst case scenario, then we need all of the repair. Like, we need all of our stuff. You can't give you your stuff. So it's more complicated to convince her that there's a deeper ugly truth than just that, right?
Sure.
But yeah, if you're doing a persuasion test, then it's her will, which is 5.
Yeah, I think I've got probably a better shot.
Yeah.
Either way is fine.
What can I throw in to help you, though?
You could still throw in persuasion.
Yeah. What you said is definitely a persuasion fork or a help.
Okay.
So I'll do that. I'll roll ugly truth with her persuasion help. Yeah, I don't think I can throw in anything else though in here. I don't think I can throw in interstellar outpost wise. That doesn't really make sense here.
I think it kind of does, because like the whole argument she's making is like our outpost needs the repairs more than like you need the repairs, and so I think you could do it. We might need an extra bit of dialogue.
I mean, like, maybe I would just say like, well, by your own logic, this if we don't get out of here, this outpost is doomed anyway. So you might as well give us your metal so we can all escape here.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to probably say something along the lines of like, we can take some of you with us, right? Like,
right, and I think that's what she would say.
But how many people can we take? Our ship is tiny.
It's not that tiny. Like, I think we can fit.
It's pretty. Like, you have a big cargo hold at least. Like, it wouldn't be comfortable, but you could squeeze a bunch of people in there.
That's right. But then, like,
we could take some people with us if you want, and I think. And maybe this is I think Elowen would also try to like say that, but also say like, if we can make it to Coruscant, maybe it's not so helpless here. Maybe they, again, I'm hoping that they will be able to send defenses to these outer rim territories so we don't lose more planets, right? That's our goal.
Sure. Yeah, so, you can fork that in.
Yeah. Okay. So perfect. So 2 helps / works. Base off 3. Ooh,
close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
And no 6s either.
I know. Yikes. Okay, well, I'll roll. I'll
spend 1 fate. Okay.
Might as well. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I did not. I was going to roll another ugly truth. Hold on. Okay, remaining of 1. Please.
Oof,
no.
Yikes. And you don't have a call on for ugly truth, so that's the end of the line there.
Yeah.
So I think that what she says is, I'm really sorry, Elowen. I wish I could help, but this is above my pay grade. You're gonna have to talk with the Republic officer in charge of this base if you want any of that metal. I can give you an introduction, or
that's
give you an introduction to the person who can give me an introduction.
That's okay. I appreciate it, Sparks. We'll see what we can do, and if I need that introduction, I'll let you know.
All right. Well, I'll call my sister, and we'll see what we can do to get everybody off this rock.
Sounds good. Take care of yourself.
You too. And yeah, she trots off.
Dang, I thought I had that.
Yeah, it was very close. Very close. All right, cool. So up to you guys, who you want to pick up with. Obviously, we could keep following Elowen and Jenna here, but we could also cut over to Fang and Ryu. Do you guys want to like interrogate the Mandalorians right away? Did Chad want to start off with like his conversation with Fang about the dark side? Any order is fine.
What do you want to do, Fang?
I mean, my main 2 things this session will be contacting a gank friend of mine and then interrogating the prisoners. So I'm flexible. They can be done anytime. So, anytime as long as no one comes in and murders the prisoners for some reason. But
so maybe Fang tells Ryu he's gonna go interrogate the Mandalorians, And then Ryu is like, well, can I talk to you real quick before you do that?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. So did that already happen? Do I start there?
Yeah, no, I think Fang probably comes in while you're like wherever
doing
you are.
Something.
Polishing your armor in the cargo hold.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
My Mandalorian helmet.
Yeah. Ryu, I'm intending to give those Mandalorians an earful, see if we can get anything out of them. You want to, I don't know, sit in? Back me up?
I'm going to watch.
Actually, yeah. I've been wanting to see what those guys know. I don't trust Mandalorians at all, so I would like to hear what they have to say.
Me neither. And while I don't intend to torture them with gas, I think they don't know that.
Torture? Did you say torture?
I just said that I'm not going to torture them.
Okay. Well, I hope not. And actually, I wanted to talk to you about back when we were on Terrace. You seemed a little out of control. Are you okay? Like, does that happen often?
I thought you were going to say, "Are you in control?"
I think Fang like pauses and looks at you and goes, "What do you ask? Never seen a gank before?"
I haven't. I've been on Terrace for a long time, and I don't really know much about ganks except for that so pause. So they're like very angry, right? That's the gist of it.
They're known galaxy-wide for massacring an entire planet.
Okay.
They're like bounty hunters and soldiers and mercenaries for hire.
Okay. So I tell them, yeah, well, all I know about them is that, what everybody knows, that, they could be a little ruthless. Is that right?
We can be. Where are you going with this?
I just want to make sure I just want to make sure. How about I phrase it this way, Fang? You still have those combatives I gave you that I made for you?
Yeah, he nods and gestures to his belt.
Are you going to keep needing those?
I think at this point, Fang, I'd like to make a manhunter roll for Fang. I think, like, due to his instinct of like always questioning the motives of others, and because he's been kicked out of about 2 different things for being too aggressive at this point, he's just like worried that Ryu is like probing in order to find out whether he needs to get kicked out of something again.
Yeah.
That's a good like real reaction, in my opinion.
So Manhunter, what does it tell us about? The one thing I don't like about this compendium is that you can't search traits by their name.
Yeah, you have to go traits
find
and
the
then
giant list and then go.
Yeah, it's in my sheet already. So
okay, yeah, I found
it.
So
it grants me the ability to detect strong emotion and intent and stuff.
So probably intent is what you're going for this time.
Yeah,
like
probably,
what is he trying
intent.
to do? Yeah, so Ob 4 there for Manhunter. It's just a perception test, right?
Yeah.
So you're good at that.
4. Yes. I'm slightly worse at it because of my helmet, and then slightly better at it because I increased my helmet.
Mm-hmm.
So, boop. Of 4 with perception. It's open-ended because it's sight-based. With I think I put in 2.
From your helmet stuff?
Yeah, because I think it automatically applies the -1 from my helmet. So.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I think I'll put in 2 and then no Arthur, and I'll put in base obstacle 4.
Yeah. Ooh, close, but no cigar. You spend fate on that, though.
Yeah, well, I'll spend a fate on that. I've got 13 on it as well.
Oh, you one of your upgrades is that it's open-ended. Okay.
Yeah. So just 1 remaining ob and 1 remaining dice. No.
Oof. And I don't think you have a call on for perception, so.
No, I don't.
I don't even know if there is such a
because
thing.
that's perception. I don't get a test on that. Cool.
Yep. All right, cool. Yeah, so you are not quite sure, Fang. I mean, you're worried about it probably, but you can't quite tell. You can just ask him, obviously, but.
Yeah, so I think like he lets that question of like where are you going with this like ride, and then like probably just leans back against the thing and crosses his arms, like sort of like cut off. I'm just trying to think what he would say.
He can just do that, and I can continue talking.
Yeah, if you have something.
So he does that, and I think Ryu senses that. Like, obviously, to Ryu, he knows what Fang is like suspecting. Like, it's pretty clear, and he says, "Well, you know how like I've mentioned, I don't like Mandalorians."
Yeah, I think
it's come up once or twice
on that.
So okay, right. So Fang, sometimes I worry that my thoughts about the Mandalorians could be a path to the dark side. And I don't know if you feel the same way or not. But if that's something that you need help with, then I'm here for you. If not, then you know, I'm not going to worry about it. But I just want to make sure that we're all working together, working well together, and able to get off this rock, get to Coruscant, and do what we need to do.
Given your failure there, Fang, and the fact that Chad has a belief about this, I'm inclined to have him make a roll here to try to like convince you of that. That's fine with you.
Yeah.
Probably gonna fail it, but
yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
you're working on it, right? Like you need to work on your charisma and stuff anyway.
Yeah. So can I roll persuasion?
I'm thinking it's a persuasion test, right? You're trying to be like, I'm here for you, buddy. Like you should open up to me because I have your best interest in mind, right?
Yeah. So you can't fork anything on being learned, right?
You cannot. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Fang's will is
do a link test, though.
6.
How does that work?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if you have a link test really to do here.
I just felt like I could use etiquette and maybe Jedi doctrine, like as part of that conversation.
Maybe, except for like again, if you were forking those, that makes sense.
Yeah.
As link tests, you have a low enough skill in those that you would probably just fail, and that would probably just make it worse.
It wouldn't matter. Oh, yeah, it would make it worse.
I would say that we should just assume that you're going to fail this so you can get a test, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll that being learned persuasion ob 6 because his will is 6. Fang's notoriously difficult to convince of things. Oof. Yeah. So this would be a challenging. Oh darn! You don't need a challenging on your will there, Ryu.
That's annoying.
That's a bummer. Yeah, I really can't think of a way that would have been different, though.
Mm.
You at least get a fate for it for like working on the belief, though. So, yeah. So he's not very convincing. And it's not. I don't know if it's like that Ryu is like, sounding suspicious or anything like that, or you like worry he's gonna take something away from you. He's just not good at getting across what he wants to. So it just comes off as kind of awkward.
Very awkward, like because he's only been like in a lab for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Fang looks you up and down and like, let me see. What does Cenobitic mean again?
It's
like discipline.
It's basically his like monastic lifestyle is what that is saying.
Mm.
Wait, can I use charisma my call on for persuasion?
Oh, yeah. Of course you can. Yeah. I mean, might as well, right?
Well, you didn't actually fail any dice.
Oh, that's true. Hey, you could spend some fate though if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but I can't beat 12, right?
I mean,
not unless you explode and then explode.
It's unlikely. You could. It's possible.
No, I'm not going to do that here.
No, yeah. A call on would have made sense. Just because you can do it for free. But yeah, I wouldn't spend fate on that because you would spend more fate to actually have a chance at it. You'd have to spend more fate than you would get back for doing the roll in the first place, and you would undoubtedly fail.
And it doesn't help.
Yeah, I think Fang looks at Ryu and says, "Yeah, right. Ryu, the disciplined, demure guy, might be falling to the dark side. Next time, make it more believable."
Ryu's just kind of like, oh, well.
But, you're getting into character, and then maybe they'll believe we'll use gas on them if you keep saying you'll turn to the dark side or something.
All right, let's go interrogate these guys. No torture.
Agreed. No torture.
Okay,
then we go over there.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys step in, and we see the Mandalorians, and I know you had like one basilisk pilot, and then like a marshal or sergeant or whatever, who you captured. The one guy, the pilot, had his face burned half off, so he's like on the med bay still, like strapped down on the like table or whatever you have in here to do medicine on people. But I think the sergeant just has like a manacles to this wall or something, right? Like to some metal bar. Do you take off the armor of these guys? Are they just like humans now, basically, with like no armor on, I assume?
Yeah, I don't think they have armor.
Yeah, so it's just like two human dudes, basically, right? In their skivvies, just like strapped or chained up. And I think we'll say that Basilisk Pilot, the guy who's been like laying down, let's say he has his eyes closed. I think you can tell he's like awake, but he's like ignoring you. But the sergeant, he like goes against his chain, right? Like his manacled hand, and just says, "Let me out of here and I'll fight both of you." Ah.
Can I ask what their wills are? Like, can I try to do persuasion on them to get a test that I need?
Yeah, I mean, what would you try to persuade them of?
I don't know yet. I just want to know if I could.
I'm not sure that's something your character would know, just off the top of your head until you made the roll. And typically what I mean is like you as a character don't necessarily know the wills of people as you look at them, right? It would just become apparent to us as the players once you made the roll.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, you could certainly. Basically, what I'm saying is like,
for the sake of the game, like I don't want to keep wasting. If they're all going to be challenging, why would I want to keep doing that?
I'll tell you that. Yeah, they're not going to be challenging.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yep. No, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you could think of something to try to persuade them of, you would get tests.
Yeah. For now, I'm letting Fang do his thing, but I just wanted to know in case I want to try.
Well, I mean, yeah. Perhaps we should start off with you attempting it, and then I'll follow it up.
So maybe on our walk over there, you're like,
so
why don't you give it a go?
Good Jedi, bad Jedi?
Yeah, I'll be the good Jedi. Or should I be the bad one?
Yeah, I'll throw in some nice comments about you and make it sound brilliant.
All right, I'll try. I'll
be a little bit more forceful.
I feel like me would joke and be like, let's see how close I can get to the dark side. But
you don't think Ryu would say that? Yeah,
I don't think Ryu would say that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll try to be the bad guy, and then we get in there, and what does that guy say? He's going to take both of us.
Well, I think Josh was saying that he was going to be the bad guy.
Yeah,
because he was saying.
Yeah, but you were joking, weren't you? Didn't you just joke and say?
No, I was saying
I missed something.
Good Jedi, bad Jedi, as in you'll be the good Jedi, and then I'll come in with the bad.
Yeah,
Jedi.
I'll be the good Jedi.
I mean, you're like the peaceful like healer monk guy, right? So
yeah,
he's literally a gank. Like he has built-in. He has a 9 intimidation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. That was unbelievably unlikely. So yeah, Chad, what is Ryu going to try to convince them of specifically?
Well, so we walk in and they say to us,
yeah, he's like, let me out. Yeah, let me out here. I'll take both of you, right? Settle this like men.
And Ryu's just like, well, what are we trying to find out, Fang? Maybe on our walk over, you told me what we're trying to figure out.
He just turns to you right now. What do I actually ask them?
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you want to know?
We probably just want to know how swiftly they're intending to move through the different planets, or if they're just popping one off to make a point.
So we want to know what their plans are.
Their strategy, yeah. Well, what's the strategy? Their galactic invasion plans.
Okay, so that guy says his comment, and Ryu says, "Hey, whoa, no need for so much hostility. How about you just tell us what your guys' plans are, and we'll let you go."
Simple as that, eh?
We are Jedi.
I mean, you're a big, strong guy. You don't need to prove anything.
And look, we already captured you. It's not like you could really beat us.
Yeah. He growls lowly in the back of his throat. And I think he says, I'd like to test that proposition. Just give me the chance, Jedi.
Ryu says, you're not going to get the chance. What are the Mandalorians' intentions? Why did you attack terrorists? What's going to happen next?
So you're a coward, are you?
Jedi are not cowards. Jedi are peacekeepers. So let's try to stay peaceful.
You just said the same word twice.
That's okay.
Yeah, and I think the pilot who's like strapped down to the med table says quietly, still closing, his eyes are still closed. He just says, "They're not going to let us go." And the sergeant like looks over. He's like, "Yeah, what do you say? You're not going to let us go anyway. And all this is moot. Just end it, Jedi. If you're not going to let me have a fair fight, at least let me die. At least let the shame of captivity be ended."
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have said I'd let him go because I don't think we are going to.
Yeah, you could back off from that and be like, okay, fine. We're not going to let you go.
So
That's true.
I say, okay, you're right. We're not going to let you go. But if you cooperate, perhaps I can put in a good word with the Jedi Order and have them maybe put you into a nicer cell while you live out your days as an enemy of the Republic. How about that?
I think the pilot says quietly from his table, he says, "You don't understand Mandalorians at all, do you?"
I think Ryu gets mad when he
you
says
like
that.
Die in honor in battle, right?
So say that again, Fang.
Yeah, I think I get the general drift. You like to die in honor in battle, right?
Yeah, they don't say anything, but that's the
Look, like, I understand. Look, we may not release you in the standard way, but like, I'm a gank. They can't blame me for killing one or two of you. And I've got ambassadorial immunity. I mean, what are they going to do? Try me for murder?
Yeah, the sergeant gets like a hopeful look on in his eyes. He's like, "You're right, you're a gank. So we'll do this then. We'll fight."
I think Ryu gets really angry when that guy says you don't understand Mandalorians.
Mm.
And then when that guy, so after their conversation,
so you were just stewing while Fang was like talking.
Yeah, like angrily, and when the sergeant says, "Oh, we're gonna do this, right?" Ryu says, "You have no idea how much I would like to fight you and end you right now. Just tell us what we need to know."
Okay, yeah, you can make a persuasion test based on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so OB4 persuasion test, and so the idea is that basically, they'll cooperate with you. If the promise is that you'll let them fight, you'll let them fight you, or at least Josh, right?
Yeah, we'll fight. Yeah, somebody will get a fight.
Yeah, sure. That's definitely something that would appeal to the Mandalorians. Go for it.
0, 0, 4, 0.
All right. Well, you can do your call on and spend 1 fate if you'd like.
Okay. How do I do the call on for this? I don't remember how to do that.
So you have 2 failed dice. So I would just actually, which one do you want to do first? I guess it doesn't.
Does it? What I mean,
are you planning on doing both?
I don't understand enough to know. Yeah, can I actually win?
What's
the benefit to
spending fate? You can always, there's always a possibility of, because you can always get more and more 6s. It is kind of unlikely, like 3, because the most you could get would be,
So if you do your call on, you're basically re-rolling 2 dice and then hoping there's a 6 in there to.
Yeah, so you can spend more fate on it.
Explode.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you spend fate first, you're re-rolling 1 dice and hoping it becomes a 6. And then possibly using call on to reroll 1 die, or maybe 2 later.
So it's very unlikely that I win this.
Yeah.
But is there any benefit to like rolls that I need for that, or no?
I
only get 1.
So you've already gotten a difficult test on your will. That's what that test earned you. Which you need to like up. The better you get with will, the easier these tests are going to be.
Okay, so I need 1 more difficult test.
Yep. If you're not planning on making another persuasion test today, I would just use the call on at least. I mean, this does seem like probably the thing you would use persuasion for in this session.
I'll do it.
So at least do that, and then we can see how it goes, right? So I would just, I think for simplicity's sake, just type in the following without the period at the beginning.
Yeah.
2d6 greater than 4. Let's see. Okay, so you got 1 6, in which case you still have that 1 failed dice there, right? That 2 is still a failure. Now you could spend 2 fate if you would like to. You don't have to.
Yeah, why not?
To then try to get 5 more successes.
Okay.
So then at this point, I would go to the fate option at the top.
Remaining ob is
5, and then 2 dice is what you're rolling. Oof, that was bad. That was very bad. Yep. So you've gotten 4 successes total, which, if you had the persuasion skill, you would have succeeded, but you're still untrained at this. You get your difficult tests. You've done all you can do. Go ahead and put the 2 fate off of your fate pool and put them in will is where they go.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I think the failure here is like I think Like there's a moment where like the sergeant is like seems eager, and then the pilot just says it again quietly. They're not going to follow through. And even if they do, it won't be a fair fight. Look at us. I'm half burned. You still coughing from the gas they poured on you. It's not a fight we can win.
Coward.
Yeah, I think he says, I'm not a coward, Jedi.
No, I wouldn't really say coward. I think he would actually say, oh, so is that what the Mandalorians are like? Because didn't he tell him earlier, you don't know anything about this?
Yeah.
Say, says, so that's the Mandalorian spirit you were talking about.
He opens his eyes at that point, and I think like the med table isn't like flat down. It's like, his head is propped up, so he can meet your gaze. And I think he says to you, Ryu, I'll tell you exactly what we're gonna do, Jedi. We're gonna wait until you're comfortable with us. At some point, your gaze is gonna slip off of us, and we're gonna have an opportunity. And at that point, we will have a fight anyway, and it will be on our terms. So, you can kill us if you want to. And eventually, we might get our fight. But we're not going to trade for information like some petty criminal. We have more honor than that. And he lays back down. And the sergeant, the pilot, it's unclear what the ranking between the two of them is, but this pilot has enough verve about him that the sergeant just falls silent at that point, and it kind of slumps, and he's like, okay, I'm going to follow what he said.
I think Fang steps up to them, walks up to the bar, says, "You're right. It wouldn't be much of a fair fight at this point. You're right. You are burned. You know what? Let's fix that then." And he steps up, and I'm going to try and use my what's called my transference to heal him up, essentially.
Yeah.
Which I'll then build on for the I want to start either try and get interrogation or intimidate or something like that.
Yep. Let me double check this because I don't know if it's going to do what you want it to do. I'll double check this.
Because I get to test my health instead of his.
Yes, but I don't know if that means the dice goes away, right? I guess. Remind me, what did we actually do? I think Ryu did do a test on him. Oh, wasn't it just to stop
just
the bleeding?
I just
That's what it was.
Yeah, so
you stopped the bleeding. That's what it was. Okay, then this makes sense. All right, let me find transference here.
I could. I mean, can I help him do that?
Well, let me double check. I think you can. But let me double check. Okay, so provided you are touching another living being skin to skin, and provided that contact is maintained for the duration of the test, you may test your health in place of theirs for the sake of their recovery. This includes effects such as grit your teeth and shake it off, but provided you can sustain the contact for the entire process, even a mortal wound can be healed by proxy. The downside is this: whenever you test health in this way, your fort is taxed by an amount equal to the obstacle of the health test plus any margin of failure. Let's see. You can spend Artha on the behalf of those people. I think the way this works though is if it's Chad's character could help with his medicine skills, right, Fang? To give you advantage dice on the health test that you're going to be making.
I
think.
Yeah, that is something that he could do. Yeah.
So I think in this case that is stewardship. Is the actual medical skill you have for this, if I remember correctly. So yes, Chad, you can make a test. The way that this works typically for Burning Wheel. Recovery. A wound of this scale, and I'm pretty sure he has a pretty bad wound. Let me double check. Maybe I just put it on the character sheet. Basilisk pilot. Yeah, okay. He has a midi wound, and you kept it from getting worse by doing your thing. So the roll that you need to make now is a stewardship test. Let me double check stewardship because I think there are some stipulations on who you could use this on. Let's see. You can use this on children, the ill, or the elderly. I don't think that actually counts. Unless we already said it counted.
The ill? I mean, I already used it on him once.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if you did. Maybe you used something else. Let me see this. Toxicology.
Because he used it to staunch the bleeding, is what happened.
Right, that's what it is. No, yeah. Stewardship can be tested to staunch the flow, but cannot treat wounds. That's actually Stewardships can help health tests for recovery, provided the steward is presiding over the patient for the majority of each day of convalescence. Okay. So he can just help you with stewardship. So it's slightly different. He's not actually doing any. He could probably do some sort of like chemist role if he wanted to like give you some helping dice. But yeah, the thing I'm wondering though is like typically with a midi wound, you have to get treatment. Proper treatment before you can actually begin the recovery process. I guess it's possible with transference that we skip over that, but like it doesn't seem that that's what it's saying. You can just do the health test for them. In which case you might need an actual surgeon or medical officer to heal him up, to like give him the treatment that he needs first. What does chemist actually allow though? Because it's possible that he could just make, like Chad could just make like a Bacta thing or whatever, Colta thing. Let's check. I am fine. I'll have to look this up a little bit more extensively in between things, but I think I'm okay with Chad just making a chemist roll. To function as like, make some sort of med pack thing that will do the work for him. Do you have a medical droid, Rio?
No.
Yeah, you do need barely anything. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say OB 4 chemist test to basically make the equivalent of some sort of colto concoction that is just going to set him up in the way that like the rules need us to be him, for him to be able to make the recovery roll, or, for Fang to make the recovery roll for him. So yeah, let's make that roll first. Ryu, go and make a OB 4 chemist roll. You can fork in stewardship, anatomy,
toxicology,
and toxicology.
Illness-wise.
Not illness-wise. He doesn't have an illness. He has a
He's
wound.
Burned up.
That's not illness.
Maybe
illness is
maybe he has
sick.
an infection.
I don't think he does. Right.
Oh.
So yeah, you can fork in stewardship, anatomy, and toxicology. Yep. So yeah, OB 4 chemist test. Yeah.
Nice.
Whoa, that was a really good roll. Yeah, so we could say that this has probably happened beforehand.
Routine?
It is routine, unfortunately.
Oh, lame.
But yes, you can go ahead and make that roll now. Josh, I think you get 2. Actually, this might be a thing, Chad. If you want to spend fate, you have 5 6s. The way that this roll works technically is because it's like the treatment roll. Any extra successes you get over the obstacle helps the health test. So if you spend fate and reroll all of those 6s, you might get a bunch of extra successes that would help.
That's just one fate.
Yeah, 1 fate would be 5 more dice. If you spent 2 fate, it would be 6 dice.
Yeah, I'll do 1.
Cool. Yeah, so 5 dice. Remaining knob is like 1 because you only need 1 more success for it to matter.
Oh.
Oh wow, that was really sad. But yeah, so Josh, you'll get 3 more dice from the treatment there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find transference so I can make sure I'm doing this right.
Yep. I think it's basically you just like make the health test for them at this point.
Yeah. And it's a midi wound, you're saying?
Yes. Oh yeah, I guess that should have been of the treatment too. Forgot about that. But it would have been 4. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yep. So recovery, ob 3 looks like.
Ob 3. Yep. So 3 treatment, no Arthur, base obs 3.
Yeah.
5. And I'm going to spend 3 fate on this.
Okay.
My health.
Does that do anything in particular?
In fact,
or do you just want to spend?
No, just 3. I'm not going to spend the extra one to reroll a failure. And so I'm going to roll 5 of those.
Is there a particular reason why you're spending?
Yes, I'm going to use my proprioception to explode it as many times as possible to instantly recover him as much as possible.
Right, because it reduces the time. Yeah.
Yeah, so currently it's 20% quicker. And I'm trying to get that down as much as possible.
Yep, that makes sense.
So it's 5d6 explode greater than 5 greater explode greater than 4 greater than 4. I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, but actually I might do it the other way around just to be sure.
Oh my gosh.
So I believe that brings it down to 7 plus 2 is 9, so 10% of 2 to 12 weeks.
Yeah. What would be 2? Let's see, 4, 14.
So maybe a day.
A day? Yeah. I think we'll say a day. Right. So it's like, we can, for dramatic effect, we can say like you start to heal him and it's like very noticeable and visible. And then he frowns at you and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Bringing you back to full strength. Can't have you weak to fight. I'm a gank. I don't prey on the weak. Unless I really want to. It's just more fun this way.
I'm going to rip that helmet off and shoot you in the face. You do realize that, don't you?
Well, you can try.
Half the grin.
I think essentially what Fang's going to try and do over the next little bit is he's going to like tease them with that fact of like fighting, but then you try and like draw information out of them. It's like, oh yeah, like you're going to escape, but then like, are they thinking that they'll then get picked up by their friends who are definitely intending to take over this planet? Or like it's basically teasing with that information to try and get more.
Yeah. Sounds like you're making an interrogation roll.
Yeah. I'd like to try and get interrogation with otherness as well.
Makes sense.
And
a good one to get now.
And again, I'll need to know how many out of 3 dice I get benefit, but
based on your traits.
Yeah.
Let's see. Interrogation. So
is transference a skill?
Yes, it's like a training skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you either have it or you don't.
Okay.
I think child of bloodthirsty culture is obviously the base of this.
Yeah.
Why don't we heal the other guy too? I want to fight him.
I mean, I don't know if he's actually wounded.
He just got gassed, so I think he's just fell asleep for a bit.
So I could heal him with medicine.
Yeah, I think he's basically fine already.
Well, then I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna let him go too.
I'm thinking. Manhunter. Probably Manhunter makes sense. Or Eye of the Hunter, but not both. Just one of those is probably better for the general sense of being like tracking down people, bounty hunter, interrogation, all this stuff, but probably not both, just because they're slightly different. I think that's probably it.
Yep.
Yeah, just the one, I think.
So it'll be base of 4 again. 1 help due to traits. I'm going to spend 2 Arthur on it.
Yep.
So 2 persona. Where is it? Arthurness 2. And then base obstacle 4.
Good luck. Nice.
Kill.
So what does that give you?
So that gives me interrogation at a 4, I believe.
Sweet. All right, let's take a look at interrogation. Current will exponent of the person being interrogated, plus any traits, plus situational disadvantages. Like if the victim has beliefs that prevent him from revealing what is being sought. I assume that each of them have some sort of Mandalorian honor code belief that would hinder this. Let me double check if they have like a trait that would come up here. They don't have one that like automatically gives them. Because I think the implication there is like there are some traits that specifically have things.
Yeah.
Like the double the obstacle of interrogation.
Iron will doubles the ob for interrogation.
So. Yeah. I don't believe either of them have anything like that. So let's just say 5 is your ob.
5 is the ob. Okay. A fork intimidation.
Of course, get 2 dice there.
Yep. A fork soothing platitudes.
Right. Yes, because of
like talking them up at the same time.
Yeah.
You big guys.
The fact that you're healing them at all also helps that.
Yeah.
Soothing platitude idea.
I'll fork in persuasion as well.
Mm-hmm. You could probably fork in political secrets wise. That's kind of what you're trying to get out of them.
Yeah. Would etiquette like help with like the honor code thing of like?
Sure. Yeah. It's especially because you're a gank. I think that's the sort of etiquette that you're familiar with anyway.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I don't know whether Ryu wants to give me a bonus with something.
I'm not sure he has something. I guess if you use...
He's got telepathy or something. I don't know whether that helps or...
What are you doing?
He's trying to interrogate them. Basically, he's talking to them through the entire process. He's healing this guy. Yeah. Trying to get out the information through a more subtle means. I would say etiquette. If you're already getting as a fork, it makes sense that he could help with etiquette.
Yep.
Do I get a test for that?
You do. You get a challenging test for etiquette.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm. And do I get one for the circumstances of the help test benefit, or leave that as, or is that just allowing me to do it?
What do you? What part of that are you? I guess I'm confused as to what you just said.
I'm just asking whether I could get like a link test die kind of thing from the health test.
Oh, the health test.
But I'm okay if not.
Yeah, I think that's what's setting up the situation to do the interrogation. Yeah.
Cool. All good.
I think soothing platitudes is part of that idea. It's like it's the idea of and how you're going about the healing more than the healing itself.
Yep. So 7 forks, no Arthur, base ob 5.
5. There you go. Yeah, you had plenty of dice to work with there. Cool. Yeah. So you're going to get out that information. The idea, I think they're going to spend at least 2 days like bombing terrorists and invading. And it's not so much that like they have a plan to do that. It's just that they have no immediate plans to leave Terrace until it's conquered. Until it's completely conquered. So you have a window of time in which to stay here. It's not like they're gonna be right on your tail. That's the main thing that you get out of them. Any other particular things you want to tease out about the plans?
I think those are the main things.
Yeah. So they plan on having there's like multiple corridors that they're planning on invading from Terrace, but they're trying to secure Terrace pretty clearly first before they use that as a base to jump off into.
I think like if there's anything else Fang would try and get out of it, I think he'd like throw in some comments about how much of a complete dweeb Garm is, and like I don't know how he even got hands on that Beskar, and he's just trying to like lure out of them how they knew that he had the Beskar in the first place.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the sergeant might know something about that. Let's see. You probably get a tidbit about that. I'm trying to decide what it would be. And wasn't it that the Swoop Gang also wanted the Beskar and knew about the Beskar?
Yeah, they had. That's how he had gotten it, or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it was Garm. The implication they give you is that it wasn't Garm. Garm was just the latest in a long line of people who had been getting this Beskar shipped around. They don't know if it was like Garm who masterminded this theft, but like they were just following a trail of like theft. So someone stole some Beskar from under their watch, on whatever system is closest to like Terrace space, that was under Mandalorian control, and it made its way here, and they were just tracking it down. So it's possible that the Garm was the mastermind behind that and like paid someone to steal it, or the Swoop Gang maybe was, and then he stole it from them, but they don't know.
Yeah, and then like he like nods and smiles and chuckles and like kind of makes the warrior code chat, and then he says, "All right, well, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow, the next day, for our little tiff." And he like does shadow boxing in the air. So, all right, well, see you around, boys, and like walks out, like gestures for you to follow him.
Sounds good. Cool. Let's pick up with Elwyn and Jin then. So Elwyn, you are trying to find what? Like you're going to the person who's in charge to like.
Well, that's what I was talking to Olivia, and I feel like there's 2 different ways we can go about this, right? We could see if our own transmissions are working, right? To just contact the Jedi Order ourselves, or I could circle. I don't know. What's your circles actually? I don't know what your circles are. You have a 3 in circle, so she could try to also circles up the person who's in charge here. I don't know why she would know them above me, but she's been traveling a lot too, though. So it's possible.
Yep.
Maybe it's that right. We get the name from Sparks, and she's like, "Wait, he's in charge here now."
Yeah. We could start there. Right.
So that could be something. So I don't know. I just kind of. What do you think, Olivia? What should we try first?
Guess we could see if we know somebody.
Yeah,
that feels like a good place to start because then if you fail, then we know you don't. Right.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
How do I do a circles thing?
Yeah. So I mean, I could roll it. I do have a column for it, but I only have a 2 in it, and it's an ob 3, right? You said
you could help each other too.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I think the idea here would be. Jen, you have a military life path, right? Jedi Knight is one of yours, right? And that's in the military setting. So that's probably, I think it's Olivia that needs to make the roll because she has the same setting as this person would have. The whatever Republic military officer is in charge of this place. So I think that's probably the place we start. So I think
we'll help her with.
Yeah, you can help with your circles.
My circles, okay.
Yep. And then link tests could be done based on what this is. I think it's going to be an ob. Okay, so you want to know the person in charge or have a contact, a way to get in touch with them in a way that circles allows you to. Do you want this person to be to have any particular disposition or knowledge that's different from the sort of person this would be naturally?
We're just looking for someone in charge, I guess. At least be willing to help us out, perhaps.
Yeah,
that's what the circles will determine.
Yeah. So basically, the 3 levels I could see of helpfulness from this person is if you meet the obstacle, this person is going to be a contact. You would have an in to talk to them, but they wouldn't be you wouldn't have. There'd be an acquaintance rather than an actual friend of yours. If you get above the obstacle, then they're your friend. They're just a straight up, their name, that you've met them before. They're friendly with you. But if you wanted to increase the ob by 1, then you could have it be they're your best friend. They love you. You worked together, right? And had that sort of thing. The base ob, I think, unfortunately, given that they're a high-ranking Republic official that you don't have a specific life path for, but have a setting for, your starting ob is 5. So you could increase that to 6 to make them your best friend, or you could just go for the 5.
Yeah, I don't think Jen really would have a bestie in the military.
Yep. Can she fork in her affiliation with the Jedi Order?
I think so. I think the Jedi and the Republic are close enough that your clout with the Jedi Order would matter. So I think that means you're rolling 5 dice against 5 ob right now.
Yeah.
So
no link tests she could make to try to increase. I don't know what
she could do.
Let's see.
Soldier wise.
Ooh, yes.
But you only have a 2 in that though, so that wouldn't be a very good link test.
If she could fork things into that skill, technically that's something she could try. I don't know if there is anything for that, but
I don't know if there's anything that would fork into soldier wise based on what she's got.
I would say the only thing I could see her making a soldier wise test and forking in contested sector wise, just because of her past history. The likelihood of her knowing this person is probably because of a contested sector she was in with them in the past. That's probably the best link test you have as an option.
But the problem is, with
the risk is if you fail,
that it gets harder.
Yes.
And the ob is probably going to be 2. So you're rolling 3 dice versus 2, and you have to get above the obstacle. So you have to get all 3 successes in order to even get
the advantage die you need.
That sounds statistically unlikely.
It is very unlikely. But it's also unlikely that we are going to make 5v5. But you do have fate to spend though. So
technically, Elowen, as a note, you can help her with the soldier wise test too if you have a wise or something.
I don't know if I have any wises that would fit with this other than interstellar. Oh, I have interstellar outpost wise, Wonders of the Galaxy, perplexing phenomenon wise, and criminal operations wise.
I don't think any of those make sense.
I don't think any of those make sense. So I don't think so. So I think we're just doing 5v5.
You only have the 1 persona, but you do have some fate, so you can hope for 6s.
Weesh. Okay, so then the circle's button, correct?
Yeah, circles, and then you would add 2 to the like help dice you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One from Elwyn and one from your Jedi Order affiliation.
2. 0.
Yeah, you're not putting in persona.
5. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
5.
Whoop.
All right.
Whoa,
all
not
right.
terrible. Not terrible. You didn't
Okay,
get
so-
sixes, though.
No 6s though, so you can spend 1 fate. You do have 7, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. You can spend 1 fate to reroll 1 failed dice. There's a 1 in 12 chance of success because you need to roll a 6 and then another success.
It's possible.
But you have 7 fate, and fate is something that comes and goes pretty regularly in the game,
I
so
would use it.
it doesn't seem like a bad option to me.
Yeah, okay.
I would do it. It's happened to me before
yep,
where I've
you've
done 1 in 12 chances many of times.
So remaining ob is 2?
2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but you're only
1
rolling
die for that.
dice, so
Yep.
it's unlikely, but it could happen. No.
Nope. Oh, a big fat 1.
Womp womp.
Wah,
Well,
wah.
All right, so
Well,
yeah, you
just
would
put
take
this
that fate off of your pool and put it in
in
circles.
Oh,
So
okay.
you put it in the F.
Because basically what happens is
And
as you
then-
spend fate and persona and stuff, it's going on the things you spend them on. And if you get a certain threshold of all 3 types of Artha in a thing, then it unlocks a special like upgrade for that
Oh.
thing.
Well, we try to see if we know anybody. So now should we go to the communications thing?
Yeah, so there's 2 options here. You tell me which one is more interesting, Olivia. This could mean you just don't know this person. It could also mean you did work with them in a conflict and they don't like you, like something went
Oh.
wrong during. Up to you.
Right. So it's your call. Like either they just don't exist, like you just don't know them.
I mean, technically, it's my call. I'm just curious what you
Yeah.
think about
yeah, that's
it.
it is the
Yeah. If you have a preference, whether or not you would like to have, because we could add some fun, dramatic backstory to Jin right now to be like, you failed me in the war, right?
I don't necessarily think she's one of a failure, but I would say, I would feel like she's changed in the last many years, 7 years that she's been wandering around.
Because I think the idea here is if I invoke the enmity clause and make it like you do know this person, but they don't like you, it would be something along the lines of whatever conflict you were both involved in when this person was a military officer and you were a Jedi working with the military. Something went wrong in your engagement together, like there was some bad blood that happened at some point because of like a mistake or something like that.
Okay.
Otherwise, you could just be like, I don't know them.
I almost feel like we don't know each other is easier.
Yeah, the only complication there is that then you would have to find some other way to get in touch with her. Knowing her, but her not liking you means you do know her. And so at least there's a place to start, right?
Right. So it basically just means like we can still go meet with her, but persuading her to help us is going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Basically what that means.
Yep.
So, but at least we have an audience, so it's up to you though, or up to Caleb and what he thinks.
I'm asking your preference. Yeah.
It would probably be more fun to chat with somebody that we kind of know, but then I feel like I don't think I'd be very good at persuading somebody who already doesn't like me.
I mean,
Yeah. It'll be difficult, but
it will be difficult, but
it's more dramatic though.
It's more dramatic. Sure. I mean, I guess at least Elwyn's with me, so.
I'm not gonna really be able to help me out much here.
When I was young and dumb.
All I have is like the truth. All I can be like is, you guys hate each other. You got to put your differences aside. Suck it up.
Suck it up.
It's not like I don't
So-
love her.
So Jen, I think it's like, I'm sorry. When this mechanic lady like runs off, you're thinking about that name that she gave. Like she probably gave you the name of like the officer in charge, right? She's like, you'll have to talk to let me find the name that I had. You'll have to talk to Commander Corsa, to Commander Vel. Sorry, that's her last name. Commander Vel. And you would know Commander Corsa Vel as
a Republic officer, female, that was in the conflict with you at some point in the past, on the Outer Rim, whatever you were doing there. She's known for her pragmatic attitude and strict leadership style. So you would hear that name as she like ran off, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, I do know that person, and I could probably like say I'm Jedi Jenna Kinloft here to see blank," and she would probably let me in, but she would chew me out when she did, right?
I feel like now we would get along, but back then.
Right, and that's probably what it is, right? Like you've changed since then, but like she just remembers the like hot-headed Jedi who thought she knew it all, right, or something, right?
Yep, not too proud of that.
Yeah. So would you share that with Elwyn then?
Yes. This is where the fun begins.
Yeah, we just get that line and then we like cut away to like you guys.
Well, I was gonna say Elwyn's gonna say, since when we weren't having fun. I've been having so much fun today.
But yeah, I mean, we can probably just cut ahead to like that meeting, right? We can say that all of that has happened. So you meet with Commander Corsavel, and I'll put that in the chat here so you guys have that. And this is actually a thing we could do. This is something we should be doing as we make circles tests. Remind me of this in the future. Elwyn and Jen, at the bottom of the character info tab, there's relationships listed, but also circles. So whenever you circles up someone, we should add them to this list here. So for you, for example, Alyssa, we should be adding Caravenar, Sparks, yeah. So like Cara, Sparks, Venar, right? And she is maintenance worker on Jebel. And then you would mark one bubble on this aptitude here. Okay. So once you circles her up 7 more times or whatever your
I'll be able to get her whatever I want.
You'll have a permanent relationship with her and be able to call her on her whenever you want.
Yeah.
So same with you, Jen. We can add Commander Corsavel, except it's not on that part. It would be on enmity circles, right? So she's an enemy of yours.
She don't like me.
Exactly. So
thank you. Wow, you pasted everything already.
Yep, Commander of the outpost on Jebel, and it's with B's, Jebel. Not yeah. So you would mark on aptitude there, right? So a little bubble there. All right, cool. Yep. So whenever that happens, we'll make some lists of allies and things. All right, cool. So you meet Corsa in a circular control room with with panoramic windows and a holographic display, a bunch of holographic display monitors that monitor the outpost operations, weather patterns, and incoming and outgoing ships. There is, the outpost commander, a veteran officer from Terrace, where she was stationed for a while and then got transferred here. She's standing there with a team of controllers that monitor local resources and security. So a bunch of people like computers like typing away and like monitoring various things. They've gotten word by the time you get here. They've gotten word because you probably told her like we're here to talk about like the Mandalorians have arrived. Like you probably informed her like that's one of the main reasons you want to meet. So they're frantically readying the outpost for like defense and like shipping away civilians, right? Like doing what they need to do, trying to get in contact with the Republic. It seems like there's some sort of like issue with their communications though, and that they're working out on as you walk up. And it feels like a bridge of a ship, but it's like up in like the control tower in this outpost, looking on the icy landscape of Jebel. And the two of you walk in, and Corsa turns from her, like, giving orders to glare at you. So she is, probably a woman in her 50s wearing a Republic officer's uniform. She has a perpetual scowl on her face, and like a scar down her lip. And I think she glares at you, kind of sniffs, and says, Jedi Jenna Kinloft. It's been some time since I've seen your face.
Indeed it has.
And I hear you bring trouble with you, like always.
No, well, I wouldn't call me trouble, but, thank you. Appreciate it.
She looks at you like, I wasn't speaking to you, like gives you like a glare.
It's a joke. Anyway.
Not exactly.
She seems like the person who doesn't understand jokes. So she turns back to Jen and says, what information can you give me about the Mandalorian forces?
Well, many. They've almost blockaded, or I guess, you think they blockaded the entire planet?
They're bombarding it currently and invading it. That's kind of what you know.
Yeah, not much else.
Barely,
we've just been on the ground, barely got out.
Yeah. And that means they're likely on their way here next. I've had word that, there's some other planet that I don't remember. There's like another resource planet, which is like closer to Mandalorian space that Terrace uses, and I think whatever that name, I think it starts with a V. I'll look it up, but she basically says that name. Like we received word that that planet has already fallen. Terrace is going to starve before the day is out, unless the Mandalorians have the resources to maintain that city planet. She looks at you again, Jin, and says, so you escaped, did you? Couldn't even stand and fight the Mandalorians? Had to run with your tail between your legs?
You don't have the power to do so. Felt it'd be better to go and ask for help.
Well, unfortunately, I have no help to give you. So you'd best move on to whatever other hole you want to hide yourself from the Mandalorians at.
Listen, I'm not one to turn away from a battle, but I am one to cut my losses. We just want to get some help from the Jedi Order. I feel like that would be the wisest decision I could make.
Now, I'm trying to think here as to like what kind of relationship you guys had before. When you say, I'm not the type of person to cut my losses, is that something that was true about you before? Or I'm the type of person to cut my losses, yeah. Or would she be like, that's not, what are you talking about? You're not this type, because I'm imagining young Jenna as like reckless and like got herself in a bunch of fights, right?
Yep.
We leave no one behind. Of course, we can't leave anybody behind.
Right, yeah. So I think she frowns when you say that then, Jen, and she says, the Jedi I remembered had the opposite problem. Constantly running into fights that she knew she couldn't win, getting good people killed in the process. How many people did you leave behind on Terrace, Jin? Another Padawan?
No. We were the last Jedi to leave, actually.
Well, at least you have some courage. Well, if that's all you can tell me, I suppose you should be leaving now.
That's the problem. We can't leave, even though we want to.
Problem is that our ship is damaged. You need ships to help get your citizens out of here. We can help each other.
She laughs. She says, all of the ships here are transport ships. We have an efficient crew of dock workers and pilots who are evacuating all citizens as we speak. We do not need a rogue transport ship to muddy up the waters, muddy up our resource allocation, when every second and every scrap of metal counts. I'm sorry, but your request is denied.
We're not a rogue ship, though. We're affiliated with the Jedi Order, an interplanetary organization.
Yes, and he's like, on this planet, the Jedi Order has no jurisdiction, only the Republic. And she's like,
the Jedi have always been friends of the Republic.
She gives you a look as if like, but you, the representation of the Jedi on this planet, and me, the representation of the Republic on this planet, are not friends. Just gives you a look, and you get that. So again, you could push for like a persuasion test, try to find some sort of like way that this would be in her best interests. But as of right now, the arguments you presented to her, like she's like dismissing them outright because of your previous relationship.
Can't you set our, what is it? I can't say this eloquently. Can't you set our differences from the past aside? Don't bring I guess your opinion of me to darken the opinion of the other Jedi who are here also trying to get off this planet.
What do I owe to those Jedi? Jedi that, yeah. What do I owe to those Jedi? My responsibility is to the men and women who work on this outpost, on this planet.
People something nice to say.
Yeah.
You gotta give me a second.
It's all right.
Yeah.
You can also just, say like, I want to say something along the lines of like this, right?
Yeah, and if you don't have a particular argument in mind, we could also crowdsource it and be like, okay, what sort of arguments would Jin make?
I guess I'm like trying to say kind of like we're all kind of fighting in your best interest, and it's just like our witness is going to be beneficial if we can appeal to like the Jedi, like with witnesses from on the ground, and like we can get you the help that we need. We just need to get off planet with an intact ship that can actually jump to Coruscant.
If you want the Jedi to actually do something, then you better send the Jedi who actually saw it firsthand.
Oh, ugly truth.
Yeah, that'll be an ugly truth for sure. I think that's good enough for a roll, right? So I think this is Jin making a persuasion roll, and then Alyssa helping with your ugly truth there. Let's take a look here. You got soldier wise is fine. She's a soldier, right? She's part of the military complex. So let's see. I'm looking at the other skills here to see if there's anything else. Probably soothing platitudes. Your comment earlier about like we should set our differences aside, right? Like our previous relationship, your opinion of me shouldn't matter. Like see reason, like calm down. And then from Elwyn, yep.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I see anything else in there that would be.
Yeah, because this isn't a contested sector, right?
No, I don't think so. Yeah, not yet anyway.
And it's not Fringer either, so.
No, okay. Yeah, she's not a Fringer.
What's the ob? Is it like 7?
I think 5? It is 7. I think her will is 5, but like this failed circles test and like your relationship that you've established with her like has increased the ob to 7.
How many persona do you have?
I have 1.
1.
Oh,
I don't want to die. She hates me.
I mean, she's not going to like outright kill you.
Yes, and so
don't mess with a Jedi, especially when she knows how powerful you are.
Usually, when I present stuff like this, I'm trying not to give like binary failure options here. So like you failing this persuasion test is not going to be she just refuses and sends you away. It'll be like you'll have to do something for her to like prove to yourself, like prove to her that you can do what you're useful to her or something like that, right?
Jin suspected as much, so we'll see.
Yeah.
All right.
Press the button.
Go for it.
Away. Wah, wah.
Not bad, all things considered. You do have a 6 there, so you could spend 2 fate to reroll 2 dice.
Oh.
Let's see. What does your call on trait say? Settling dispute between 2 characters.
That is me, so
it's you, yeah.
Me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. What do we think? I guess this is technically Elowyn's ship. So maybe we can make an argument for like settling.
I mean, it's really her against like she's like it is against the 2 of them, but she makes it sound like she just isn't like all Jedi at this point.
Yeah. Well, let's do the fate first, and then we'll see.
To spend 2 fate points.
I would say so. Like you have enough that I feel like it's probably.
But they're
we'll see. 1, 2, 3.
They're like Jedi.
5.
They're like Jedi abilities. So I'm just like I don't like spending them.
Yeah, we should decide whether or not the call on fits first. What do you guys think?
Usually, you could do the call on first before you decide if you want to use fate or not.
Yeah. What do we think? It says settling the dispute between two characters is the main point of that. Do we think that like Jin trying to like argue on behalf of the Jedi in her party that like we need our ship repaired, put your differences with the Jedi aside, does that count enough for this?
I guess the question is, would she still have this kind of disdain if it had just been me coming?
Probably not. No.
But she wouldn't even talk to you.
No, I understand that, but I just meant if like another Jedi had come up to her and been like, "Hey, like we need help, like please, help us repair the ship," would she be like a little bit more amiable?
Yeah, probably. I'm the thorn in her side.
Like, is it that she just hates Jedi, or is it that she just hates you?
I do think that like the main reason a role has to be made here is not because she hates Jin. It's that she truly does believe she does not have the resources to allocate to your ship. Like it's not worth it to her. So I think like it seems, I don't know. I could see it both ways. Josh, what do you think? This also sets a precedence for us, like when this calling can be used. So I just want to gauge whether or not that's reasonable.
Have to spend my fate points.
Let me just quickly read it.
Yeah, because I feel like it didn't make sense for her to use it the last time she was in a dispute with like the Mandalorians, because it was more just like it was just like a
personal thing,
like a standoff almost kind of a thing. Whereas this is more like
it's actually kind of
a personal vendetta that needs to be right. I don't know. I feel like it was just very different.
Wording on it is, this skill acts as a call-on for persuasion, coarse persuasion, or oratory when trying to settle a dispute between two characters. I don't think
I can use it because that's more of a mediator role, and I'm not.
Yeah, you're not really mediating. Like it's almost that, but I don't think it quite is. Just having it written out like that seems to say no.
Like I think I could see it being one if it was like your persuasion was to settle the beef between you two, but the explicit stated goal is to like get something out of it.
Yeah,
like I almost further action on top of that, which I don't think it could.
Right, like if her only motive was like, let's just put our like
differences aside
to work on something together, but that's not.
I want to make amends with you. Period. That's my goal. Yeah, that might make sense, but you're like,
but it's not trying
to.
It's just like you can hate me all you want. Like, just get off the planet.
Okay, so I'd say if you want to try to reroll stuff, it would have to be fate.
Okay.
You might get lucky. With 2 dice, there's a little bit more chaos plateau to work with. So,
but it's 3 ob, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ugh, 3 ob and 2 dice.
Yeah.
Ouchies.
Yeah.
Oh well, we tried.
Yeah.
You gave it your best shot. Okay, so mark those fate spent on persuasion. You can get a difficult test on persuasion, which you do need, so it is helping you.
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I would say that she says, I had an idea for. Okay, yeah, this is how I was I had to fix something in my mind. So she says, I'm sorry. There is very little I can do for you in your current situation. She's like, if we had extra resources, but and she seems to stutter, like falter on what she's saying, and she says, sighs very deeply. There is technically one deposit, scavenged materials that we lost recently down in one of the tunnels. A mining site not too far from here. If a mission was sent to reclaim the scavenged supplies, then perhaps our mechanics could take a little time out of their schedule to repair your ship. But I cannot offer you resources offhand. This will be up to you to. This will be something that you will have to take into your own hands. It's the best I can offer you.
Oh, what choice do we have?
I will warn you, however, the reason why we haven't yet retrieved the scavenged supplies ourselves is that some of my men think that site is haunted. There's been signs of a strange figure walking in the snow. Trying to think what other details she might add to the description here. What did I write down? Mysterious figure in the snow who disappears when approached. My men think it's a ghost. I, of course, have dismissed such silly stories, but there may be a danger to the site that we haven't yet explored. So be cautious if you do decide to go that route. If you happen to bring the scavenged supplies back to my mechanics, I will give them orders to take whatever time they can spare to repair your ship. You must move. You'll have to move quickly, though. We will be evacuating. We'll be evacuating most of the mechanics, all the mechanics that we can spare as soon as possible.
Well, very well.
No time to lose.
Cool.
Lovely to meet you, Commander.
She gives you a side glance and then just turns back to her soldiers, her officers. Yeah, so I think we've probably reached the point where we're gonna have to. Yeah,
it's a different person back then.
Well, not much we can do about that, huh?
We've got an international or an interplanetary investigator and a gank. What's a mysterious figure going to do to us that we haven't already seen?
You literally killed how many Mandalorians? I think we can handle a mysterious figure. Should have led with that we killed a bunch of them.
Yeah. So I think
by we I mean you, but we could say we. It was a joint effort. It's fine.
Yeah, I think we've reached the point where we are going to do multiple sessions on this planet, especially given that I just gave you a side quest. I'm fine with just ending here. But we also there's a couple other beliefs that you guys wanted to work on. If we wanted to press on for a little bit longer, we can try to contact the Jedi Order. / Fang could try to contact his gank gal, but we can also stop here if we're running out of time. Chad is nodding. Everybody else fine with that? We just call it here.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay with that.
Our characters get to go on an adventure so long as the Mandalorians in our ship don't move.
Yeah. So we
have lots of paralyzing gas. Will be fine.
Okay.
We can pick up next time trying to contact the Jedi Order / your Fang, your gank buddy. And then Chad could maybe do some research on the Beskar stuff. And then you guys could head out to go get those materials. And you can do that whatever way you would like. You could even leave Ryu behind or whatever. However you want to approach that. But yeah, there's a couple of cool little things happening on this planet that I made notes about. So we'll dig into it a little bit more next time. Let's give out to Martha. Ryu. What do you got for beliefs and stuff? See if you got anything.
I think the only belief I worked on was the second one.
Yes.
Because I forgot to ask him. I mean, I feel like Ryu already trusts Fang to kill because he's seen him kill so many Mandalorians. He's like, I'm not worried about this guy.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know if that's working on your first
no, it's
belief
not.
Because,
that's why I didn't talk to him about it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's already counted for that. You should probably asking the other Jedi then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So Fang's reason also versus a sign they may be strained to the dark side, so I'll speak to him. Yeah, so you can get a fate point for that, right? You weren't able to convince him of anything, or help him really concretely, but you worked on it.
I think I'm gonna keep. I think I'm gonna keep that because I feel like next time we fight, I'll probably have the same thought.
Yeah, it's definitely something that Ryu seems to care about, so we can keep coming back to it. Yeah, you need to talk to Garm next time, or at least just steal his Beskar. Let's take a look.
And then
here.
my second instinct, I feel like I helped.
Yeah.
For weird reasons, I helped Fang heal that guy.
Yep. I'll give you a fate point for that. I mean, you guys literally are like healing the Mandalorian so they can fight you. Like that, it doesn't seem like a good idea, but yeah, you can take a fate point for that.
I think that's it.
I believe so. Yeah. Yep. All right. Cool. Actually, sorry. Let me double check the extra Artha stuff real quick. Humor. Do we have any humor for you today? Any?
I was laughing.
I'm trying to remember if there was like a particular moment. That,
no, Fang was the one being funny, and then I was being funny out of character.
Yeah. And I don't know if there's a whole lot of other stuff there for. Yeah. Okay, I think it's just the 2 fate points. Elwyn.
That's me.
Yeah, you made a new ally, so you can take a persona there, right? Your mechanic friend. Just no mechanics on every planet.
That's fine.
You're working on. Well, actually, I don't know if you did work on number 2.
How about playing an instinct that makes my life more difficult? Now I have to fight someone.
Yeah, I was thinking the medicine one, right? Or was there another one you were thinking?
What are you saying?
I was going to give you a fate point for always tend to the medical needs of those around me, even my enemies.
Yeah, I did, but I'm saying, oh, never mind. Ignore me. I'm sorry, and I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, you're. Yeah, so 2 fate points is what I think where you got.
Yeah, I don't think I worked on the second one, Caleb, but I do think I worked on the third one of I'll ensure the repairs on my ship will be sustainable.
Yep. You're trying to get repairs. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So fate point there.
I think one, always tell the truth, always know where my ship is. I think I need to change instinct too. I'm going to workshop that for next time. If I think someone is suspicious, I'll trail them. I don't think any of those guys.
I'm interested that if Superstitious comes out next time, a mysterious figure who disappears when people walk towards them, you could play into that trait next time.
Yeah. But I don't think any of my.
No, I don't think so.
My traits got played into, so it's just 2 fate for.
I think this session was setting up the short ice planet arc that we're gonna do here. So, which is fun, like a quest like this. You gotta go to cool places and do cool things at all the different places you go. All right, Jin.
Oh, boy.
I have plans to help you to get you to work on 1 and 3 next time. I have plans. I have thoughts. But I think you're just working on belief 2 still. So fate point there.
Yay! At least I get a point back. Yay!
Yep.
Awesome.
Let's see. If someone's in danger, no.
Yeah, I didn't do any of the other things.
Yep. I would say the only thing that I was thinking for you is I think I was going to give you embodiment. I really liked hearing Jin's explanations of like this is why you should help us, and can we please put our past differences behind us? I thought it was pretty cool to hear that in character for Jin, because we haven't had a lot of like in character dialogue for Jin yet. So give your persona for that. You finally get another one. Yeah. But then Fang. Let's see. You were working with Ryu some more today, so you can get a fate point for that first one, right?
Mm-hmm.
You interrogated your prisoner to find a way to minimize further conflicts. You did it. I'm trying to think about that second part of it, like the find a way to minimize further conflicts. I guess the idea is like, avoid the Mandalorian invasion, right? Or
generally. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can get a persona for that then. You successfully interrogated them. And then you didn't get to work on 3 yet. So.
Yep.
Okay. I'll give you a fate point for always ease the suffering or danger of innocence. Though I guess they're not innocents. I still think that the general idea of that is like what made you heal the Mandalorians, right? So I'll give you a fate point for that.
Yep.
Just looking at your other traits. I don't know if any of those came up.
What about questioning the motives of others? Did that come up enough?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know, where did that go though? Right, like it. I'm trying to remember. Like, I don't really think it went very far with Ryu today.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, it kind of led into Ryu attempting his belief, but I don't know.
Like, I don't think Fang followed up on it really.
Enough,
right? Yeah. That's something you could do next time, right? Like, but, and then yeah, like I know Fang was funny today. What can we remember a specific moment that we can nominate for humor that we laughed at? Because you were like interrogating the Mandalorians. You're like, I'll give you a fight. I'm trying to remember, like,
I just remember laughing. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah. Because usually it's like, if you can remember the actual moment where like everyone laughed out loud at an in-character joke, then we'd nominate it.
Yeah. Well, if you want, I can listen to the session. I'm going to be listening to the session anyway.
Yeah, as long as we all laughed at something.
If it was in character, I'll make sure I press it.
Yep. Sounds good. I'm happy to give you right skill, right time for transference. That's always fun. Like, they were like, the fight wasn't going to be fair. They were like worried about he's like, no, it has to be a particular way for me to agree to this. And then you're like, aha, I have magical healing powers. And you also did it in like, where it's going to take only a day to heal a midi wound. So yeah. Which means that after 12 hours, one of their dice gets returned to them. Right. So that's pretty crazy. But I think that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
For Artha. Do we have any empathy stuff today? We may have. Let's take a look. Advancing empathy. Let's see. Did anyone provide sanctuary to someone in immediate need? Speak out against injustice or cruelty? Console the grief-stricken or angry? Olivia, your character tried to console the angry.
Tried.
Right? Like, let's take a look at your empathy here. You have a 5 in it. Okay, it doesn't matter for you. You have too high of empathy. The little things don't even matter anymore.
It's been like every single session that seems to be.
I know. You need to do more dramatic empathy stuff to get it higher. Taking the side of the underdog, if only because they would otherwise be alone. Tending another's wound. Obviously Josh doesn't have empathy, but Chad, what's your empathy at? What is Ryu's empathy at?
I don't know.
3. So this would count for you. This is a difficult task, which you don't need. You just need routines. Okay, yeah. So
do I still put it on there?
No, you don't need to. You already gotten all of them. Let's see.
What about? So, like, if I level up my empathy, do they all reset?
They all reset. Yeah.
So, like, it doesn't matter if they can't.
It doesn't matter if they can't roll over. Yeah.
Okay.
That's part of the like playing the game of the game, like part of the actual game, like trying to game the system. You try to get the right tests so you can advance it, and sometimes it doesn't do anything. Dissuading someone from enacting revenge, protecting someone from physical harm, embracing the consequences of your own failure with humility, acting in contradiction of an instinct in order to help someone in need, delivering a person from captivity. Anything jumping out to anyone?
Yeah, we delivered those guys out of captivity. The prisoners.
Well, not yet. You're about to.
Okay.
Yeah. If you actually manage to repair your relationship with this lady, you'll definitely get some empathy there.
Okay. I feel like it's just acknowledging my past failures with humility, kind of.
Yeah, well, I think you're leading. You're almost there. You were leaning into that, but there hasn't been a particular moment. If she in the next session or two confronts you about whatever thing she thinks is like your big mistake, and you like literally like, yep, you're totally right, and like calm her down, and like then for sure we get empathy there, right? But I don't think resolving an issue plaguing an entire community, maybe if you deal with this mysterious figure. Give me a treasure. Yeah, I don't think anything else has come up yet. There's definitely things here that we could push on for next time, but I think that is all for now. All right. There you go. That has been Red in Tooth and Claw. I'm excited. There's a lot of fun little things that can happen on this planet. I made up some stuff today that we can pursue, and hopefully you'll be able to work on all your beliefs and keep pressing the character arcs forward. There's some fun stuff on the horizon for all of these characters. I like watching them grow and change and try to accomplish what they. I'm glad that I don't have to make up a bunch of Jedi council members yet, or worry about Coruscant. We can just stay on this ice planet for a little while. So. Cool. Well, we'll go ahead and call it here, and then we'll talk afterwards about when we can do this next. We'll set up another date for that. All right. All right. This has been Red in Tooth and Claw. We're out. Adios.
Adios.